Standing outside Green Apple Books. Gonna publish a book in less than a week. I'm excited. Also, thank you. I needed this. Hello, YouTube. I'm George Coker, and these are my posters. Today, I'm gonna talk to you about something I was working on this last week, writing a book. Okay, so I'm just gonna tell you some stuff that I learned about writing a book. I've got like 8 bullet points. This is not gonna be a waste of time because my content is excellent, so you. What did I learn about writing a book? Firstly, writing a book is not just about the content. There are a lot of elements that go into writing a book, and you should try to learn what they are, and you have the ability to decide how much control you want over your book as far as content goes. Yeah, so let me say it this way. Writing a book is not just about writing content, it's about understanding your content. It's about understanding all the elements that go into the product that your book, in fact, is going to become. The next thing I want to talk about, okay, so one, you need to do your research about literary agents and publishers because these people do not see your book as your baby. Well, actually, they know you see your book as your baby, so they do see your book as your baby, but they don't care about your baby. They care about your child star who's gonna make them some millions, okay? So figure out your know your kid's strengths before you walk into the room. Also, know that your kid's gonna get rejected a lot, like I did when I tried to make friends.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Or, you know, like I do regularly as I try to get hired for acting jobs. It's great. I just got a taste of rejection once. I couldn't get enough. Self-publishing. That's the next thing I want to talk about. So that'd be 3. If you go the route of self-publishing, so you don't have to worry about rejection, except by, you know, the actual audience. You're gonna want to have the skills of a literary agent in your armory. That's what I'm gonna say. In your writer armory, you're gonna want to have the skills of a literary agent and potentially a publishing company available to you. You can find the publishing company stuff as free tools for publishing a book online. Kindle, you can do that. Amazon will help. Amazon will do that. Amazon Kindle, I think, is basically the same thing. You can also just find like, I don't know, like forums and talk to people who self-publish and see what they're up to. They'll help you with this. They like to give unsolicited advice, but when you ask for solicited advice, they like to give even more, and it's actually sometimes kind of good. You should, as far as self-publishing goes, see which friends you have that you can leverage to help you create your product. You can also just, you know, use browser searches, but you probably will find actually that somebody you know knows somebody who works in publishing or has tried to publish something in their lifetime. And honestly, a lot of people will want to help you. A lot of people hear, you're writing, I'm writing a book. They hear, I'm writing a book, and they go, wow, that's amazing. I'd love to help you in any way that I can because I'm never gonna be not lazy enough to write a book, and I just wanna feel like I was a part of it one time. And then you can like credit them in your dedications and stuff and in your special thanks section, and they will feel excellent. And so that's, you know, yeah, just trade them some appreciation for the help they give you. Also, if you have friends who work in publication or graphic design, they will try to help you if they can, and they will be excellent resources, so make sure you leverage them. Next, book design. Okay, publication design is a thing I know a little bit about. I took a class with a man named Stuart McKee. I don't know if you heard of him. You probably haven't because he's a professor at USF, and I don't know, I mean, unless you're really into like gallery design, you probably have never seen his work. But he is a burnt, okay? Also, he is really in love with this fake story that he's made up that me and my girlfriend Mary, she's down here. Hi, Mary. That's her, that's Mary. We fell in love in an art class when we saw each other's work and just knew that we understood each other. I am so sorry about that camera shake. He was really in love with the idea that we saw each other in an art class and just saw each other's work and we fell in love because we knew that we understood each other. That's not what happened. We actually met at a party. But yeah, publication design, important skill. You want to know how the outside of your book is going to catch your audience. Reality, people do judge books by their covers. They almost sometimes exclusively judge a book by their cover. They will know nothing about the book besides what the cover says and looks like. And that's enough to make them say no. So make it appealing. Know what the kind of person who wants to read your book is going to want to see on the outside of it. Know how typography will affect the text inside your book. How will it be easy to read? Will it be kind of nauseating to read? Will it be strenuous on the eyes to read? Like, figure these things out. Or find a designer who can figure out how to answer these problems or solve these problems for you. Yeah, that's what I got for publication design. Editing. Editing is important. You want to make sure that your book is like a good fluid, right? Like, you don't want a fluid like mercury which is really cohesive. It's good. It sticks to itself. It's like it's coherent. You know what mercury is, but also if it gets on your skin, it kills you. You don't want a book that's, you know, oil, right? Like that's cohesive too, but it's adhesive in a bad way. It gets on you and you can't get it off, and it just stays there, and it's an uncomfortable experience in the wrong ways, right? Or sometimes it's a great experience because it's the right kind of thing that you want to adhere to your body. So like if you've got like a niche book, right? It's like oil. Make sure that it's the right oil for the right situation, going in the right place. It's like a good lubricant. Oh. And then there's also like, you know, like honey. Something that's sweet, something that's pleasant, something that sticks to itself. It is cohesive, it's great, right? And then it's adhesive, it sticks to the thing that you put it on, and if you put it on the right stuff, it just, oh my God, it makes it so much better. And you know what, like it gets on your hands, and then you lick it off your hands, and it's just like, it tasted good. Like, you're just satisfied, right? Like, it was a good experience. I have been having way too many weird conversations about fluid dynamics and the properties of liquids, so I apologize because that might have just gone in a whole weird... We're gonna stop talking about it. I'm gonna stop apologizing. You came here to listen to me be me, and I'm gonna do that. Editing. You also want to make sure there are as few errors as possible. That's a very important thing. So don't distract your reader with avoidable flaws. And also don't lose your readers with poor formatting. You don't want to like have typos that just make people go like, this person doesn't know how to use there or where appropriately, and so I've gotten the wrong version of this every single time I've read these words, and I don't want to read this book anymore because I'm out. You also want to make sure that your language is intelligible. So if you don't know how to use proper punctuation, find somebody who does. You don't want to lose your readers on poor syntax, right? You don't want to have them sitting there going like, I don't know why he sentenced not good. I talk like this now too because they were that bad at English. Not appropriate. So yeah, fix that. Marketing. An important aspect of book writing is marketing. If you are writing a book that is supposed to make you or somebody else money at some point, you have to understand that your book is a product. I'm gonna keep saying product, like I've called a book a product a number of times, and like I'm not super into like capitalism and stuff, so like it's kind of weird for me to be talking about a thing that I think is like art and magical and beautiful and wonderful as a product, but that's like what it is. So make sure you understand your product, right? Like understand if your product goes in the hair.
Just let your soul go. Just let.
Or you know, if your product is like something that is inedible and will like poison somebody. If you are making a good product, share the exciting parts with the people who you think are going to want to read your book, right? Share tidbits about the process and about, you know, maybe like making a breakthrough, or like, oh, this chapter is completed and I think you guys are really gonna love it. You know, share potential bits of content with your reader that you think they might enjoy. If you've got a book cover, finally, and it's, you know, it's a couple weeks before the book's coming out, share the cover with people. Hopefully you have a cover way earlier though, so that you can use that in like your promotional materials. Those are important. Have those. You wanna be good at marketing. Good marketing doesn't just mean that you make money. Good marketing means that the right people see your book, and that's the important part. That the people that you want to read it get it in their hands. The people who you think it might be a good thing for, who don't know that they're going to want to read it, will get it in their hands. Maybe people who don't even like to read will give it a shot because you were creative about how you access that reader, and that's another thing to keep in mind. You won't be creative. You want to be creative when you create your marketing materials. If you can like share stuff about your world building process with potential readers, and you think that they might enjoy that, and you find out that they do, share it. Like see where that goes. J.K. Rowling has Pottermore now, and if J.K. Rowling had Pottermore when she was releasing the first 7 Harry Potter books, like it would have been complete insanity, because people, instead of waiting for the next book while she was writing it to come out and just, you know, forgetting about it and reading Aragon or something, they would just be sitting there ravenous for more details about the world of Harry Potter that are like part of this whole world that was built, but we only get to see it through the eyes of Harry, right? And a couple of other select characters. There are these backstory characters that we will never really know that much about. I love working with my cats around. Felix is trying to scratch the post. He stopped. Thanks, Felix. It's like you care. Yeah, it would have been amazing. It would have been an amazing tool. So if you have the ability to create something that might be like a little platform for you to share stuff about your work, take advantage of those platforms. If they exist, if you can make them, take advantage. You can be an author who Instagrams constantly and like has like, you know, little things where it's like, oh, if you come to the book signing, I'll give you a little hint about the next installment. Like, people will lose their minds. Distribution. Self-publishing has a lot of distribution options, and I'm not going to go into all of them. Not all of them are great. Google will answer this for you. Forums of other people who are self-publishing things will answer this for you. Tips for how they all work and what the best methods for using them are all different. But one thing I will say to you is you want to learn the format for uploading, for editing, for submitting, for publishing on the platforms that you want to use. Make sure you understand how all of that works well before you tell people that this thing is going to be released. That way, you don't end up like me, unable to release it at the time that you were going to release it because your life was too hectic and too many things happened in the span of the time that you were supposed to be writing, and so you didn't get to the part of the book writing process that was, you know, publishing. My final product, things I want to say about that. So my final product was and is a journey. Why? Because I'm not done writing this book, and I don't know when I will be, but I do know that I had a great time doing the parts that I've done so far. I do know that I'm still in the process of figuring out how I want to actually properly, you know, format this, how I want to structure it, how I want to edit it, how I want to set this all up. I mean, it's poetry and some vignettes, and I need to make sure that I'm making it so that you guys can love the process of reading it as much or more than I love the process of writing it. I learned that that's a thing that I care about. The reader experience matters to me. It's not just about me writing stuff that I want to write. I also learned that executing on ideas is harder in practice than it is in theory because there are two kinds of experiences I think primarily that you have when executing on an idea. There is execution where there are right and wrong answers. There are proper solutions to problems, and you know what they are, or you don't know what they are and you have to find them, right? So that's one kind of operating system for execution, right? Like a static system, right answers exist and you find them. Then there are sort of dynamic systems. The right answer is changeable and it's mercurial. It could be something that could be the right answer yesterday would not have been the right answer today, solely based on your emotional state. When you're writing, you are a different person from moment to moment. Even if you are fundamentally the same human being, the things you know, the things you think, the things you feel are constantly changing, and therefore what you write is likely not going to be the same on Tuesday as it is on Thursday. Even if you were to go back and write the same thing exactly, you might try to edit it in some ways or improve it because it's not the same to you now that you've had an experience of it. So I also learned that every experience in life contributes to my solutions and will contribute to how I write and what I write, and how I want to write, how much I want to write. It's interesting. It's a very cool experience. I also recognized through my final product that I am a perfectionist at heart, and it sucks because I'm a little neurotic and kind of anxious and a little bit crazy, and I seem like a real chill guy sometimes, but that's a lie. Also, when I'm in charge of a project, my function on a team generally would be more innovative than perfectionist. I'm not very good at mediating. I accidentally put my foot in my mouth all the time. Nigerian people are blunt, and we just say stuff because like our parents would just say stuff. And so I sometimes will just be like, yes, this is my opinion, and here are the facts that back it up, and oh, I accidentally called you an idiot. Wasn't my intention, but if that's how you interpreted it, that's your problem. Cool thing about writing a book, that's not a problem. You don't have to mediate for anybody. You're writing for yourself. You do have to mediate sometimes when you're interacting with other people, but if you're self-publishing, once again, not a problem. On the other hand, being a perfectionist is a problem because you become too critical, and since nobody else is in charge of what you're doing, you don't release it because it's not perfect yet. It will never be perfect, and so then you'll never get anything done. On the other hand, being an innovator is fun because I like to see how different steps or drafts turn out, and so that's exciting. The problem is that everything that I do will always forever feel like a draft that is working up to a final version. I think perhaps that's even why I became a poet as a child, because I loved working with words and I loved improving the words that I was using every single time, and I would just do it over and over again. Also, I was listening to a podcast recently, and they were saying that Nigerian people have a tendency to speak in very figurative ways. They don't speak in as figurative of ways, I think, well, maybe it's all Nigerians, but when they speak English, which is the official language of Nigeria, they'll just say things like, you're the enemy of progress. And it's just like telling your child when you're trying to get into the car and go to church that they're the enemy of progress. It's just like, because it's not like, oh, you're getting in my way. It's like you at your core are the adversary of a better tomorrow. But yeah, it's listening to people who speak like that on a regular basis actually probably has been very formative in my life. Yeah, so that's what I have to say about writing a book. If you like this video, please like it down there. If you want to see more videos of me doing stuff each week, please subscribe. I will be doing all the time. And if you have any ideas about things I could do, or if you want to talk to me about this little list of things that I said about book writing, please get in on that comment section and let me know what you think would be great tips for other people to know so they can see them when they look down there. And let me know what things you think I could have talked more about, or I should talk more about, or things you want to know more about. Yeah, do that in the comment section. George Coker signing off. Is that really how I want to end my videos? I don't know. I'm gonna try something else. Peace. I don't know if that's how I want to end my videos either, but that's what you get now. Well, really, I'm going to be writing a book, but Mary's going to be helping me figure out how not to rip out all my hair while I do it. That's project one. I'll be brainstorming things in the car and maybe doing some research, but this is all you really have got so far. All right, thanks.